Hey guys, this is Zeta Andrews. I just want to take a few minutes and talk about the Russian narrative. This Russian narrative is so dangerous. You have no idea how dangerous it is to our freedom. This bombardment of claims coming from political officials on the right and the left, coming from the corporate media establishment that is putting out propaganda headlines because that's all people read anymore. They don't read the whole story. They are directing this narrative. It's brainwash that's being inflicted upon the American people. It's a form of MK Ultra. We've become a population that's not thinking, and we're not questioning our government as much as we should. A lot of people don't understand who the real threat is or what the threat is. As they obsess over Donald Trump, they're not looking at what's really happening here. And the players behind the scenes, which is the CIA, the NSA, the Department of Homeland Security, and all the individuals in those organizations. They are making up this propaganda campaign to manipulate the American people, to divert from their own corruption, to ensure that they can continue to have power over the entire system of politicians on the right and the left, of the corporate power known as deep state. That's worldwide, the big corporations. And this is exactly what is happening. The people are so focused on Donald Trump and being afraid of Donald Trump and cheering the CIA and cheering on the NSA and the Department of Homeland Security narratives that are so harmful to Donald Trump. They are so short-sighted. They're being so manipulated, they cannot even see the point of the story and how dangerous it is to the American people. And really, the entire world is counting on us. We have to bridle in our government because other countries are suffering. The real threat the American people face, the biggest threat that we face, is not from the danger we face in this country right now, is the power that has been increasingly usurped and concentrated for the past couple of decades into unelected shadow organizations within our government, which have consistently sought to propagandize, manipulate, lie to the American people to get us to support policies that harm our civil liberties, reduce our freedoms, and advance military for-profit wars as a business model all over the world, and advance the profits of this corporate state over individual people. And so, when the left loses their minds, like they are now, and cheering for an organization that is one of the lead propaganda agents for all the things that is oppressing us right now, just because they don't like Donald Trump, they're going along with this one narrative that they like that's going to bring us down if we let it. They have lost their flippin' minds. They can't see the forest for the trees. They have lost their core integrity, their critical thinking, and have become completely divorced from reality. They can't even see the true threat, the manipulation that is going on right now. And there are so few people standing up and fighting this, just a very few, and we are fighting against the corporate media. It's a critical time to push back right now. We got 4.5 days before Donald Trump is sworn in. These are orchestrated lies that's being pushed on us by Lindsey Graham, John McCain, John Lewis, Cory Booker, CIA Director John Brennan, and all the corporate media. And let's not forget James Clapper. He perjured himself to Congress about the NSA spying program, so he has zero credibility here. We should not be believing these people. On the Democrat side, you got Bernie Sanders and Keith Ellison and the neocons, the entire political apparatus of the front people on both sides coalescing to sell the manipulation to the American people about Russia. This is dangerous. And then you have the military-industrial profiteers that want to resurrect the Cold War for business. We see the National Defense Authorization Act that is seeking military option to be used against Russia in a supposed violation of their INF treaty, which is BS. And they are seeking out what military options they have right now to do so. And we also have the attachment to the NDAA, this Countering Disinformation and Propaganda Act, that gives the State Department and the Defense Department the powers to deem what is truth, what is lie, and what is fake news. These very departments are they are vested in keeping up this dishonest narrative, to keep the American people supporting these wars of choice, wars on lies. They have destabilized the entire Middle East, manufactured refugees, murdered innocent people, and utilized war as a means for stealing other nations' resources and wealth, including our own country, and still maintaining the geopolitical control of the world because of us. People are suffering because we are not putting our foot down and cleaning house with the corruption. We are not stopping this evil in our own country that is affecting every other country in the world right now. We have destabilized 7 countries under Obama. And the Department of Homeland Security, against the wishes of the local and the state election board, they have taken authority over the cybersecurity of elections. This is totally unconstitutional. Obama and Jay Johnson cannot do this. Only Congress and the states can, not even an executive order can take over our elections. Even if it's infrastructure, they cannot do it. But they are just doing it anyway. And if you read what Jay Johnson said, he admits that Russia posed no actual threats to the actual infrastructure. So this is a move to give Department of Homeland Security control over the infrastructure, the storage locations, the actual voting apparatuses of our election system. So where's the outrage here? People need to wake up right now with this. The Department of Homeland Security from the very beginning was unconstitutional. It was founded in 2001 under Bush to protect us against terrorist threats, after 9/11. Which is supposed to be a temporary stopgap organization. And these temporary powers, they have not dissolved. They've only expanded. Not what we have now is this out-of-control rogue government acting unlawfully to implement their own rule of law. This is overthrowing the American people and the Constitution, our rule of law. And the very people that have been appointed to these positions of these election cybersecurity groups are 2 Secretary of States, Alex Padilla and Brian Kemp, who are involved in election fraud scandals. I mean, really? Come on, people. So if you actually look at the policies being advanced through this fear-mongering, this manipulation campaign on Russia, it's bogus, it's unproven. They can't prove it because it was actually Department of Homeland Security that did the hacking, which is proven and is documented and is a fact. So that's what they're trying to cover up, is they want to take the spotlight off of them and put it on Russia. They want you to look over here and don't look at the fraud from the DNC and the CIA. Who would believe the CIA? After all, they train ISIS, they train terrorists all over the world to destabilize countries, even their own people. They also have no credibility whatsoever. And it's not that hard to see what they're doing. I just wanted to chat with you for a few minutes to get this off my chest. And you just have to follow the money and look at the policies being implemented. Obama has never worked so hard in 1 month over the past 8 years. That is very telling. People have lost their minds. So you guys just keep on cheering for your own destruction and for your own demise. But remember, after these policies are set in place and they are set in stone, they will no longer need you. And they will go down to their bunkers while they permanently silence you. See, they don't need you anymore. While the dust settles, they'll come back up. This isn't about Donald Trump. This is about the takeover of America and the American people in installing their leader. And it was never meant to be Trump. It just worked out that way because the American people were sick of the corruption and we showed up at the voting polls and won by a landslide and overthrew their own fraud and corruption through Department of Homeland Security. And then now you have the wolf in the hen house. We cannot let this go through. It is unconstitutional. But you better hope and pray that Donald Trump does take office so he can stop this beast rising. It's time for the American people to unite on just the common ground of survival. And we can work out our differences later and our parties later and stop this bullshit. We have been diverted, and we need to start focusing on the real issues here and what is happening to us right now. There's a coup going on to overthrow us. So let's stop it and unite and come together. It's time to call the government out and say, no, not this time. No more. We're not buying it. When we know for a fact there's all kinds of documentations out there. I have posted, there's probably 10 links of documentation and court documentations from Arizona, from all of the corruption. It's a Department of Homeland Security, okay? The DNC. And they still couldn't pull off their fraudulent election for Hillary Clinton. It was not Russia. So those documents prove it. It's on my wall. And a same progressive, she has a video. She's a progressive liberal. But hey, listen, she talks facts and she talks sense. Everybody listen to her. I mean, I don't agree with her totally, but, I'm a Donald Trump fan. She's a Bernie Sanders fan. But I get that. But we can still be friends. Do you understand? We're not enemies here. We are Americans. We got to come together and stop this bullcrap that will happen to us. We're getting ready to lose our country to a nefarious evil. They don't care about humanity. All they care about is their worship to Baal and Lucifer and money and sex, their perverted sex and all that comes with it. It's time to put it down. It's time to put this beast down. And let's get back to the business of living and working and being prosperous again. And let's get past this. Let's get back to building up our country and building up our bridges and our highways and our infrastructure. But we have to get past this evil first and put it down and move on. We can't let Obama call for another election because it will be totally rigged under the Department of Homeland Security. We cannot do it. Cannot go through this again. Well, I'm Zeta Andrews. Until the next time, I'll talk to you later.